Hey Thunderbolts, it's me, Static The Hedgehog here. Today on Friday, I read the next history of the SATAM characters. And forgive me that I did not quite well because words can be difficult sometimes. But anyway, that is all for now and let us begin. So the next character today is Dulcy. Dulcy was born as the daughter of Sabina. Under the watchful eye of her mother, Dulcy learned how to fly. Although she had trouble with her lesson on how to land. She also felt like a social outcast at the time because her friend would laugh at how she would spout smoke from her ears, not knowing that it was a sign that she is a protector class dragon. Sabina, however, would comfort her daughter on the matter and tell her that it meant that she was special. After Dr. Robotnik came to power in Mobotropolis, Dulcie lost her mother, presumably to the mass roboticization of her species. Eventually, Dulcie ended up as one of the few dragons left on Mobius who remained free. Also, at some point, she joined the Knockout Freedom Fighters. While the friends roommates the swamp for the parts of the de-roboticizer, Dulcie and Tails were put on the guard duty in the watchtower. There, Dulcie played a joke and Antoine, who was resisting his poem for Sally, by sharing him. Soon after that, Dulcie saw some swordbots casing a ram named Harry around and sent Tails out to let Sonic know. Later, during the night, Dulcie played cards with Antoine by the campfire. The next day, Dulcie carried Sally, Antoine and Tails back to roll the workshop on her. Back while Sonic State helped Harry free his freedom fighter from a fortress. However, Dulcie hit a tree along the way and ended up a crash landing in the workshop. There, Bundy tended to injure Dulcie. Soon after, she would carry Sally to Dr. Robotnik's fortress in Outlands in order to warn Sonic that Harry was luring him into a trap. The pair arrived too late, however, because Harry would lock the doors into Robotnik's fortress in the front of them. In an attempt to open the doors to the fortress, Dulcie put one of the magnetic field generator with the intention to keep the magnet in place while they pried the doors open. However, instead, the magnetic pulled Dulcie into the doors. When Harry later opened the doors and flew to Robotropolis in a hover unit, Dulcie and Sally decided to follow Harry when they failed to get into a fortress in time. Using her crack to wipe a maneuver, Dulcie catch up to Harry's hover unit with Sally. After arriving in Robotropolis, Dulcie and Sally snuck into an air dock and leading Trotz to Robotnik's headquarters. There, they saw Robotnik cheat Harry by going back on his word to release Harry's freedom fighters in exchange for Harry's service. As Harry was being taken to the roboticizer, however, Dulcie and Sally decided to intervene. Dulcie herself began talking in so much air that the air duct collapsed under her. Now, in front of Robotnik and his lackeys, Dulcie's Frostbot, the Doctor, and Sniffly. Later, after saving Harry, Dulcie, Sally, and Harry went to save Sonic from the fortress. In the end, Harry and the whole fortress were sucked into a void by a portal, but Sonic managed to survive and escape. Dulcie was later washed to the entrance to Rotor's workshop. There, she kept Tails from introducing on the Knockout Freedom Fighter test run of the de-roboticizer as requested by Sonic. Later, after the robotic-sized Uncle Chuck kidnapped Tails and Antoine, Dulcy took Bonnie and Sally with her to pursue him. They could not catch him, however, so they returned to Knockout Village to get Sonic's help. Later, Dulcy flew into a swamp with Sally and Bonnie to save Sonic after he got stuck in a pool of Megamach. There, Dulcy tried to land perfectly, only to crash once more. Soon after, she helped to get Sonic out of the Megamach. Returning to the Knockout afterwards, Dulcy will help cleaning up remains of the destroyed robotic Sizer. Dulcy, Sally and Bonnie later waited for Sonic, who was supposed to bring them a letter from Chuck. In Robotropolis, when Sonic finally arrived with the message, Bonnie and her group learned that the robotic Sizer has been moved somewhere else, which means that they had to abort their mission. Dulcy, Sally and Bonnie thus returned to the Knockout, while Sonic went to get a chili dog. When Sonic did not return, however, Dulcy went looking for him, but could not find him despite looking everywhere for him. She thus went back to Robotropolis with Sally and Bonnie, where Chuck helped them in their search. It was soon after discovered that Sonic had been hit by a memory scrambler and that Sniffly was now using the amnesiac Sonic to locate Knockout. Dulcy thus flew back to a great force with Sally and Bonnie, but crashed into a tree along the way. After returning to Knockout, they notified all the freedom fighters about the tweet Sonic posed to them. However, those were not among those that weren't. Dulcy thus flew off to warn him. However, she was too late. She was too later, as Tails has already taken Sonic back to Knockout. Eventually, Dulcy and Sally found Tails, and the former was left to explain everything to Tails. When Sliffy later approached Knockout, while Sonic tried to gather all the Knockout freedom fighters, Dulcy and her friends hid in an underground shelter, with Chuck joining them in the shelter. There, Chuck revealed that they could restore Sonic's memory if they gave him a power ring. Dulcy and the others thus stayed in the shelter while Sally, Chuck, and Tails went to get a power ring. Eventually thought, Sniffly found Bonnie and Co. and treated them to Memory Scrambler. Fortunately, Snippy was stopped by Sonic. Later, Sonic and Sally contemplated on an idea of overthrowing Robotnik before he came to power. Upon hearing this, Dulcy suggested that they use the Time Stones, which lay on the floating island which she had found during her travels, to travel back in time. Despite Sally's doubt about possibility of the time travel, she and Sonic decided to undertake this expedition. Dulcy flew Sonic and Sally to the floating island, where she blew away the clouds that obstructed the view of the island. While Sonic and Sally then began wondering about how they entered the palace on the island, Dulcy decided to take a nap. However, she was soon awoken by gargoyles when they began chasing Sonic and Sally. After Sonic and Sally jumped off to the floating island in a successful endeavor to rid themselves of the gargoyles, Dulcy flew in and brought her friends back to the floating island. When she tried to land there, however, she crash landed, causing Sonic and Sally to be launched into a palace. Dulcy's history was later slightly altered when Sonic and Sally went back in time with the Time Stones. In the past, the two met Sabina and young Dulcy when they were surrounded by Hoover units in the newly formed Robotropolis. Upon using Sabina in trouble, Sonic saved her from the Hoover units, thus allowing her to take young Dulcy to safety. Dulcy and the other knockout freedom fighters later searched for Antoine after he went missing. Upon finding him, however, they discovered that he had become the king of the nasty hyenas. When they tried to convince him to return, Antoine decided to resign from the freedom fighters. Despite this, Dulcy and her friends later saved Antoine from the nasty hyenas tried to eat him. After returning to the knuckle, Dulcy listened to Antoine's story about how he fought the nasty hyenas. At one point, however, Antoine accidentally stepped on Dulcy's foot, causing her to destroy much of the furniture in the room while she writhed in pain. Dulcy later helped Sonic the Hedgehog get into Robotnik's warehouse for a mission. Along the way, however, Dulcy experienced a strange twitch that made her wings flap by themselves. Regaining control over herself, Dulcy saved Sonic in front of Robotnik after Former got caught by the Megamach unit by freezing everyone present with her freezing bolts. Afterwards, she flew back to her knockout with Sonic, only to crash while landing. Fortunately for Dulcy, her friend made some organic bandages for her knees which she had injured during her unsuccessful landing. While her friends congratulated her from the rescue she pulled off thoughts, Dulcy suddenly experienced another strange twitch, promoting her to fly into a ceiling. Talking Bonnie advised about sleeping it off, Dulcy went to sleep. At night, however, Dulcy entered the trance and heard the voice of her mother who told her to go to the dragon nest. While Dulcy flew over the great plain in her trance like a state, however, two Hoover units catch her. Fortunately, Sonic and Sally came to her rescue and helped Dulcy wake up. After rescuing her friends from the Hoover units, Dulcy flew back to Knockle. There, she told her friends about hearing her mother's voice in her dreams, and Sally used Nico to display information about Dragon's Nest and the migration habits of the dragons. As it turned out, adult dragons lay their eggs in the dragon nest. In the adaptation, younger dragons incapable of laying eggs could be caught there. After Dulcy later went to sleep, Sonic and his friend used Nico to watch her dreams, which showed that Dulcy was reliving her memories of her time with her mother. When Dulcy later woke up, she went straight to the dragon nest, ignored the warning of her friends. When she arrived in Dragon Nest Torch, she found a dragon egg there. As she tried to incubate it, Sonic and Sally came and told her that Robotnik had cast the mother dragon, whom the egg belonged to, deciding that she will defend the egg. Dulcy took with her as she flew back to Knockout with Sonic and Sally. While flying across to the deep canyon, however, Robotnik appeared with his force and started chasing them. Fortunately, Dulcy managed to lose them, arrived the Knockout later on. Dulcy landed perfectly for the first time, which she attributed to the fact that she was carrying an egg. Dulcy and Sally subsequently left the dragon egg in the care of Bonnie while they went to Robot Clubfoot, where Sonic set up an ambush for Robotnik in order to rescue the mother dragon. After rescuing the mother dragon and returning to the knockout with her, a baby dragon was hatched from the egg. It also turned out that the baby dragon was a protector class dragon, just like Dulcy. After saying goodbye to the mother dragon, who left for a place with her baby where Robotnik would never find them, Dulcy received a gift from Rotor in the form of the purple knee protectors. During the winter, Dulcy tried to land to Knuckle during the snowstorm, with Sonic and Antoine helping direct her. However, Dulcy ended up crash landing and destroyed several odds in the process, including Sonic. Later, Dulcy and the other freedom fighters gathered around Antoine's hut after hearing Antoine's delegate screams and yells coming out of it. Shortly thereafter, the heroes saw a huge tree collapse on the top of Antoine's hut. Soon after, Dulcy, Sonic, Sally, and Antoine came to a great unknown in search for the freedom fighter group known as the Wolfpack. Upon receiving the shortest route, Nico had the Wolfpack's headquarters. Sonic ran ahead of his friend with warning. Dulcy carried Sally and Antoine with her as they pursued Sonic, but Sonic stopped them when they approached a field with perpetual lightning storms by grabbing Dulcy's tail and pulling her in the opposite direction. With the storm field in their way, the knockout freedom fighters followed the second route and Nico pointed out for them. Upon regaining a dead-end touch, the group found some inscriptions that Nichols translated, revealing them to be a warning about a curse. Horrified by the threat of a curse, Edward found the entrance to an underground tunnel by chance while panicking. Because of her claustrophobia, Dulcy was afraid to go outside to the tunnel, but she suggested that she could fly to the other side of the canyon and meet up with her friends there. Sonic advised against that, however, because the great unknown was unexplored and potentially dangerous. Instead, he told Dulcy to go back to Knuckle, where she did. Dulcy later flew Sally to Robotropolis, where they met with Chuck and learned that Robotnik was looking for the Deep Power Stone in Drothang. Sally herself could not get information about the stones because of the time lock her father had put on Nicole, which kept her from accessing the info she needed until she came of the age. Afterward, Dulcy came with Sally and started looking for Sonic with her in the order warned to Sonic about the robotics plan. After searching all night from the air, Dulcy and Sally finally found Sonic and Tails when they were heading towards the Knuckle. Dulcy subsequently flew after them. Sometime later, Dulcy got ready to take Sally and Sonic to the Drothang to fool Robotnik with a fake Deep Power Stone. Before they left, however, Sonic convinced Sally to let Tails aid them with their mission. Moved by how Tails was coming along on his first mission, Dulcy would shed tears of happiness. After arriving in the Drothang, Dulcy sent a signal to Sally after she had seen Tails catch Robotnik's attention. After Sally and Tails then returned to her, Dulcy took them along with her as she rescued Sonic from Robotnik, whom Sonic had tricked into giving up his search for one of the Deep Power Stones by destroying the fake Deep Power Stone in front of him. Returning to the Drothang afterward, the heroes dug up the second Deep Power Stone and kept it to himself. Dulcy was then moved to tears when she heard that Tails was the one who came with the idea to use his fake Deep Power Stone, which earned him the place among the freedom fighters. Sometime later, Antoine asked Dulcy to take him to Robotropolis so he could warn Chuck of a trap that Robotnik was setting for him. When Antoine did not find Chuck in his hideout, however, he decided to look for him elsewhere. Although Dulcy did not believe he had the guts for it, she nevertheless allowed him to look for Chuck. She subsequently hid herself in Robotropolis, and after a while, she saw Sally and Bonnie leave and intercepted the Roofer unit. As she ran up to meet them, she met Sonic, who told her that they could shake Antoine's back to a knuckle. After using the shaky Antoine, Dulcy did as Sonic told her. After the Doomsday Project was initiated, Dulcy took Ellie and Loop with her own and attacked on the Doomsday Machine. While Dulcy flew over the Doomsday Machine, Ellie and Loop unloaded several mannequins with parachutes to serve as a distraction. Afterward, Dulcy returned to the Great Unknown, where she awaited Sonic return together with Sally, Tails, Antoine, and Chuck. When Sonic finally did return, he revealed that he had to first destroy the Doomsday Machine. It was then that Chuck suggested that they use the power of the Deep Power Stones to destroy the Doomsday Machine. After Sonic had destroyed the Doomsday Machine and defeating Robotnik, Dulcy returned to a Knuckle to celebrate their victory. Dulcy is a calm, sweet-hearted, and composite dragon that is very much a child at heart who has trying to come to terms with the adolescence. She tends to be clumsy, loud-mouthed, and ditzy and absent-minded, but she is extremely kind, helpful, and loyal towards her friends, family, and fellow dragons. She occasionally gets disoriented, often thinking that she is talking to her mother Sabina after flying into something and crash landing. Excuse me. She is also claustrophobic, meaning that she does not like tight spaces. She is also naturally very protective of dragon's eggs. When she goes to sleep, she has a habit of hanging upside down with her tail wrapped around a tree branch or an horizontal pole while sucking her thumb. Dulcy is one of the strongest freedom fighters. She is a powerful dragon and her powers outweigh even those of ordinary dragons. For this reason, she is called a protector. Dulcy can fly at a dizzying speed and can even accelerate further by whipping her tail in mid-air in order to bounce herself forward, a maneuver of which she has dumped cracked the whip. Although she can get tired from prolonged flight, flying comes so natural to her that she can fly in her sleep. When she pushes to the extreme, Dulcy is even able to outfly several units at once. Dulcy also possesses impressive strength, as she is able to carry around many passengers on her back without any strain. Dulcy's main powers are her elemental affinities. She can breathe fire hot enough to destroy metal and blow freezing bolts from her nostrils that he can instantly freeze both organic and robotic beings solid in an instant. She can also inhale massive amounts of air by flexing her chest, causing her to grow to balloon-ish and proportions, and although the process takes them for her ass, is not too easy trick to pull off. With the air she has inhaled, Dulcy can use it increase her own mass and create a gale force winds with enough force to blow away heavy metallic objects when exhaled. As a protector class dragon, Dulcy can also use her air and manipulating abilities to produce smokescreen, which she can use obscure her enemy's sight. Due to her short arm, Dulcy also possesses a highly dexterous tail that can easily warp around objects and use it as a whip. Because Dulcy is a dragon, her mother's instinct can stir up in her head, calling her dragon's nest. While she is still too young to lay eggs, she can be called up and look after them. Although a great flyer, Dulcy has a problem with landing and usually ends up crash landing, resulting in her getting scrapped knees and causing the destruction in the case she lands in the wrong place. When she casts a dragon egg with her, however, she is very careful and capable of landing perfectly. So, that's all for now. I hope you all enjoyed the history of the characters that you learn about. And for the next time on Friday, I read the next character history. So, have a nice day and enjoy your day. Laterzzz Thunderbolts. Bye.